and let us settle in and focus, finish our conversations so we can begin with Yizkor.
Please remember to turn off your cell phones. We appreciate it.
Five years ago, Christine, a 40-something New York City resident, began having unusual food cravings for all things cinnamon. Then soon after, she began feeling emotions she had rarely felt. And these cravings and feelings kept reoccurring week after week. No, she wasn't pregnant, but it had been 7 months since she had received a new heart. 6 years ago, Christine was close to death. She spent more than 3 months in crisis until she received a new heart. Now, months later, she was miraculously back to normal, living a regular life again. Yes, she took a regimen of medications, but besides having to take these pills and visit the doctor regularly, she was herself once more, except for her odd cravings and these new emotional occurrences. And her hunch was that what she was experiencing in some way had something to do with the donor of her new heart. Christine contacted the United Network for Organ Sharing, also known as UNOS. She asked if she could meet the family of her donor. UNOS protocol is strict. Neither the donor's family nor the donors know much about each other. But every so often, the family of the deceased donor and those who are the recipients agree to be in contact and even meet. When UNOS contacted the family of the man whose heart now beat within Christine, they decided to meet her and any of the other organ recipients who were willing. Their son, James, a 23-year-old young man, had died suddenly and shockingly in a car accident that left him brain dead. And so his family chose to allow his viable organs to be donated. We here at Temple Israel have had a handful of our members who, despite tragic circumstances, have made the same difficult decision to give the gift of life to others on one of the worst days of their lives, in the midst of a great personal and family tragedy. They chose to honor the memory of their precious loved ones by giving the gift of life to others. We love them, and we honor them for their life-affirming choice. It's what we are commanded to do in our Torah portion this morning, to choose life. So healthy was James up until his accident that the doctors were able to donate his heart to Christine and both lungs to Julie, a woman in her mid-30s. His liver was donated to a 50-year-old man named Han, and both James' kidneys were donated, one to an 8-year-old boy, Joe, and the other to a 19-year-old named Ethan. The same week that James died, 5 people's lives were renewed due to the donation of his organs. In June, 4 of the recipients met with James' family. When they entered the room, they found pictures and photo albums of James, and there to greet them were James' aunt and grandmother. There were pictures of James riding a horse in his Navy Reserves uniform, surrounded by friends and family and smiling a broad, strong smile. His story began to be told informally by his grandmother and aunt in small groups. James had 3 younger sisters, the oldest of whom was 18. He was a wonderful kid, said his aunt. He graduated college and he entered the Navy Reserves. He was training to be a firefighter, and he loved his sisters, his family, and friends. James' parents and his 3 sisters soon came into the room and joined them. And more stories were told by the family, and also by the organ recipients who had some interesting things to share. Julie, the lung recipient, had just run a 5-kilometer race. Ethan, the 19-year-old boy who received the kidney, learned how athletic and active James was, and he spoke with James' parents about his newfound passion for working out. And he told them how much energy he had after receiving their son's kidney. He had never felt this way before. One by one, James' parents spoke to each of them. There were many hugs and tears, and there were numerous questions. Time and time again, his parents spoke of what a special boy and young man James was, with his signature smile and with his warm personality. One by one, they made a request to each of the recipients: make sure you take care of yourself and your new organ. And each one pledged as deeply as a person could ever pledge to do just that. In honor of James and in appreciation of the life that his organs had given them. And what of Christine's cravings for cinnamon and these new emotions she was feeling? Well, these questions were harder to find exact answers to. But what was clear was that these experiences were connected to James, who he was, and what he did with his life. While James is no longer alive and present, parts of him enliven 5 people. Such a fact is both obvious and awe-inspiring. Today, on Yom Kippur, at Yizkor, we take the time to remember and honor our loved ones who are no longer with us. And while they did not transplant parts of their bodies into ours directly, surely they helped shape our soul, who we are, why we do what we do, and why we love what we love. We too experience cravings. Cravings for their matzo ball soup, their Italian chicken in red sauce, their sweet, soothing voices. We long to sit on the couch next to them and share a Kit Kat. We want to dig in the garden with them and listen to them passionately defend the Cubs. We smile and picture them when we hear that distinct voice of Louis Armstrong singing "What a Wonderful World." We even yearn to experience their annoying habits that now seem so quaint, or perhaps still so irritating. We miss them so much. These cravings come expectedly on holidays, when we picture them sitting with us at the table, and on our birthdays and their yahrzeits. And often when we least imagine them to show up in our thoughts. And yes, our feelings for them continue on. As robust and diverse, they course through our bodies and our memories. We recognize, while our loved ones are no longer able to sit beside us, they now reside within us and in those that they loved and we still love. We see them in our mind's eye. We hear their voices. We dream of them. Tell stories about them. We name our children after them. Then lovingly look at the photographs. And if we're lucky, witness their adventures in home movies and videos. And we try to do what Jewish tradition teaches us to do, to remember them, and to find ways to take their best qualities with us and make them part of our character and our lives. Just like the 5 people who were enlivened when they received James' organs, we who today remember and honor our dear ones, we are infused and enlivened with their spirit, with their stories, and with their love. Let's us too make sure we take care of ourselves and the gifts that they gave to us. Let us remember them and continue to take their good names and souls with us on our lives' journeys. Zichronam livracha. May their memory be always, for all of us, a blessing. Amen.
Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world.
We continue on the bottom of page 45.
Let us read together. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. As Sinai, I will lift my eyes to the hills and their Creator, who made all heaven and earth.
I will lift my eyes to you.
I will lift my eyes to the one that neither sleeps nor slumbers, my strength in time of need.
I will lift my eyes to the maker of the mountains I can't climb.
I will lift my eyes to the calmer of oceans raging wild.
I will lift my eyes to the healer of the hurt I hold inside.
I will lift my eyes to you. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be and oh, to lose. Your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched.
Page 47.
A man doesn't have time to have time for everything. He doesn't have seasons enough to have a season for every purpose. Ecclesiastes was wrong about that. A man needs to love and to hate at the same moment, to laugh and cry with the same eyes, with the same hands, to cast away stones and to gather them, to make love in war and war in love, and to hate and forgive and remember and forget, to set in order and confuse, to eat and to digest what history takes years and years to do. A man doesn't have time. When he loses, he seeks. When he finds, he forgets. When he forgets, he loves. When he loves, he begins to forget. And his soul is experienced. His soul is very professional. Only his body remains forever an amateur. It tries and it misses, gets muddled, doesn't learn a thing. Drunk and blind in its pleasures and its pains, he will die as figs die in autumn, withered and sweet, the leaves growing dry on the ground, the bare branches already pointing to the place where there's time for everything.
We continue on page 48, and I ask those who are able to please rise for El Malay.
El Malay Rachamim Shochen Baramim Hamsei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei Hashchina Him Kedoshim Utorbi Kezohar Harakim Masirim Et Nishmat Yikareinu Shehalechu La'olamam Bal Harachamim Yesterday, Beseta Kanafav La'olamim V'yitzrar Achayim et nishmatam Adonai hu nachlatam V'yanuchu b'shalom al mishkavam v'nomar Amen.
God, full of compassion, bring proper rest beneath the wings of your Shekhinah, amid the ranks of the holy and pure, illuminating like the brilliance of the skies the souls of our beloved and our blameless, who went to their eternal place of rest. God, forever enfold them in the embrace of your wings and bind their souls among the living, that they may rest in peace. And let us say,
Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. We're going to now share our video memorial book with photographs and dedications to our loved ones. And we invite everyone to enjoy watching the screens, whether you have entered your loved ones' pictures or not, and also to spend time in the following pages from 49 through 52 to immerse yourselves in some beautiful readings, and of course, for all of us to spend some time remembering our loved ones. as we get ready in a few moments to recite the mourner's Kaddish, I invite all those who are at home who would like to share a name with us to read aloud to go ahead and type it into the chat now. And I continue at the bottom of page 53. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, we remember them. In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. Yizkor Elohim, God will remember Joyce Cohen, who passed away just this morning at 3 a.m. on Yom Kippur, an honored day for someone to end their journey on earth. We remember Joyce and Mort, who was a past president here at Temple. They moved away from Stockton several years ago, but they stayed connected to our community. And we mourn her loss, and Mort, who died about 6 months ago. Joyce is remembered with love by her son Steve and daughter Cece and her sister Jackie Seltzer. May her memory be for a blessing. And I read now the names of loved ones who have died in this past year. And if I read the name of your loved one, won't you please stand? These are members of our congregation and family members who have died in the last 12 months. Annette Adamson, Harriet Berg, Sophia Boysa, David Boivy, Janet Bullard, Saul Chadnick, Alfred Buzz Chain, Mort Cohen, Craig Deutsch, David Fortis, Louis Israels, Martin Kallman, Bradley Cantor, Esther Nell Tabak, Don Coburn, Robert Lilienstein, Kevin Mitchell, Fernand Morrison, Marv Primack, Jeanette Saphir, Bruce Soretsky, Israel Teicher, Luz Teicher, Maria Vargas, and Patricia Ventura. Zichronam Livracha. May all their memories be for a blessing. And I invite now everyone present to stand and to say aloud the names of the loved ones who you are remembering at this hour.
And those worshiping from home, add to this list of loved ones Chris Feinstein, Mary Ann's brothers, Joe, Bob, and Steve, Rosalie Galertner, Richard Passer, Michael Rakowski, Harriet and Arnold Berg, Judith Cothran, Leonard Schatzman, Joseph Schillman, Bear Fisher, Sonia Fisher, Hubert Binowitz, Dolores Feltman Evnen, Harry Lipner, Ethel Lapis Lipner, Samuel Lipner, Sarah Lipner, Rose Lapis, David Lapis, Ralph Rakowski, Dick Jacobs, Sylvia Goldberg, Carol and Ernie Haas, Randy Williams, Margie and Larry Blair, Gabriel Block, Hilda Block, Donald Block, Max Wasserman, Molly Wasserman and Jason Wasserman, Josh Trubowich, Len Cohn, Janet Martin, Herm Lewin, Bess Millette, Dorothy McClurg, Doris Engel Moffett, Sydney and Sylvia Cooper, and Florence Gwastoff.
We recite together on page 54. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah v'yalma divra cherutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shemei rabbah muvarach le'olam ulomei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudisha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba bin shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You may be seated. To everything there is a season and a time for everything under the sun, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to laugh and a time to cry, a time to dance and a time to mourn, a time to seek and a time to let go. This is the time we remember those who gave meaning to our lives. This is the time we remember the bonds that tied us together, the love that we shared, the memories that remain with us still. We continue on page 56 with our concluding service, Niela. The ending is near. We will go out into the world just as we went out of Mitzrayim to freedom. These days have been a chance to see ourselves as we are and as we'd like to be, free of the same old routines that have held us in bondage. The sun is slanting down in the western sky, and in its decline the sacred day is waning. The gates are closing. In 10 days of awe, we shift through the pages of our lives, all our failures, hopes, and hurts, repenting sins, shattered noble goals, restoring hope, that healing faith, and courage to fill the new year with generous deeds of justice, mercy, and love. Will you hold open the gates for us, gates of righteousness and charity, gates of compassion and kindness, gates of tranquility and joy, gates of integrity and truth, gates of pardon and peace. When we are born, life spreads before us like a corridor with many doors. But as we walk down the corridor, the doors close behind us, one by one, year by year. This is the teaching of the Niela service. Remember the unopened doors. Enter them before they close. Those who are able, please rise.
We'll be standing for quite a while, so if you find that you're unable to stand, please sit down.
Adonai, שפתי תפתח, ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el, Hagadol, Hagibor ve'hanora, El Yom, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imachot, U'mevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava. Zochreinu l'chaim, Melech hafetz b'chaim, v'chadveinu b'sefer ha'chaim, lemancha Elohim chayim. Melech Ozer u'Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Amen.
We remain standing for the Kedusha on page 58.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדשים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב ביד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ תמותו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפי
Today we call you Avinu Malkeinu, the wise one who loves us, though we can be deceitful. Avinu, who knows our hearts, weak and willful, and still asks for our return. You are the one to whom we turn when in pain or despair or joy. Malkeinu, you are the majesty that abounds in this world. In everything you create, you call forth our loyalty. Avinu Malkeinu, accept us when we turn to you. Avinu Malkeinu, patach sha'arei shamayim litfilatenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, let the gates of heaven be open to our plea.
Avinu Malkeinu, na'al tashivenu rekam milfanecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, don't turn us away empty-handed from your presence.
Avinu Malkeinu, slach umachal lechol avonotenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, forgive and pardon all our misdeeds.
Avinu Malkeinu, zachor ki afar anachnu.
Avinu Malkeinu, remember that we are dust.
Avinu Malkeinu, chamol aleinu, va'al olalenu vitapenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and on our children.
Avinu Malkeinu, chadesh aleinu, shana tova.
Avinu Malkeinu, let the new year be a good year for us.
Avinu Malkeinu, chatmenu b'sefer chayim tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, seal us for blessing in the book of life.
Avinu Malkeinu, harem kerem Yisrael amecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, give strength to your people Israel.
Avinu Malkeinu, kalei kol tsar umastin me'aleinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, make an end to all oppression.
Avinu Malkeinu, hamsach lanu Yeshua b'karov.
Avinu Malkeinu, hasten the time of our redemption.
Avinu Malkeinu, chanenu va'anenu, ki ein banu ma'asim, asei imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu.
Avinu Malkeinu, be gracious to us and answer us. Even when we have little merit, treat us generously and with kindness, and be our help.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu v'Hanenu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu v'Hanenu, Ki ein banu ma'asim. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu.
Avinu Malkeinu,
Avinu Malkeinu,
Hanenu v'Hanenu.
Aleinu v'Aleinu,
Avinu Malkeinu, Hanenu v'Hanenu, Ki ein banu ma'asim. We're on page 62.
The gates close, the sun sets, and darkness descends over this sacred place. Yet we do not fear, for you are with us. Though we have turned away from you, our own truth, please, merciful one, listen to our prayers, for we, all of us, have made mistakes. We have done things we regret, hurt others and ourselves in so many ways, and we ask your forgiveness for turning away.
Hi da di 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 da da di 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 da die, die, die. Ashamnu,
Ashanu,
Bagadnu,
Bagadu,
Gazanu,
Gazadu,
Dibarnu Dofi,
Dibarnu Tofi,
Hai da die, 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 da da die, 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 da da die, die, die. He'evinu,
He'evinu,
Vehirshanu,
Vehirshanu,
Zadnu,
Zadu,
Hamasnu,
Hamasnu,
Tafalnu Shaker,
Tafadu Shaker,
Ida die, 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 da da die, 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 da da die, die, die. Ya'atnu-ra,
Ya'atznu-ra,
Kizavnu,
Kisavnu,
Latnu,
Latznu,
Maradnu,
Maradnu,
Ni'atnu,
Ni'atznu,
Sararnu,
Sararnu,
Avinu,
Avinu,
Pashanu,
Pashanu,
Sararnu,
Sararnu,
Kishinu Oref,
Kishinu Oref,
Ida die, 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 da da die, 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 da da die, die, die. Rashanu,
Rashanu,
Shichatnu,
Shichatnu,
Tiavnu,
Tiavnu,
Tainu,
Tainu,
Titanu,
Titanu,
Ida die, 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 da da die, 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 da da die, die.
Please be seated. We sometimes forget that the Ashamnu, which we just chanted together, is an acrostic. If you look, each successive word begins with the next letter in the Hebrew alphabet. Ashamnu, Aleph, Bagadnu, Bet, Kazalnu, Gimel, and so on and so forth. What we have on the next page is an English version of the Ashamnu. It's not a direct translation at all of the Ashamnu we just sang together, but it's lined up alphabetically, just as Ashamnu is. And let us now recite together. Sin against you when we abuse our health, betray the truth others place in us, close our eyes to the poor and hungry, dismiss serious matters with a joke, enjoy the downfall of others, forgive in others what we condemn in others, give in to illegitimate pressure, hate others without cause, ignore important issues in our community and country, jeopardize our environment with our carelessness, kid others without regard for their feelings, listen to voices at odds with what we know is right, make no time for those who need us. We sin against you when we notice only the faults of others, openly criticize others without knowing the facts, prevent others from showing their own strengths, quietly accept hearsay as fact, refuse to be generous, stifle our conscience, talk of others' failings instead of their successes, use violence to achieve our goals, vilify those with whom we disagree, wait too long to restore relationships, excuse ourselves for hurting others by saying it's their fault, yield to that which is most convenient
when a
healthier option is available, zip past ideas,
worthy of deeper consideration. Veil Kulam.
Right.
Ve'al kulam Eloha selichot selach lanu mechad lanu kaper lanu Ve'al kulam Eloha selichot selach lanu mechad lanu selach lanu mechad lanu kaper lanu.
Page 64, we read together.
Turning toward you, we aspire to realize our potential, believe in ourselves, create a good life, dream about what we might become, exercise our bodies, forgive honest mistakes, glorify the creative spirit, humor ourselves and others, imagine great things, joyfully live each day, kindly help others, love one another, meditate daily. Turning toward you, we nurture the environment, organize for justice, praise performance well done, question most things, regulate our own behavior, smile often, think rationally, understand ourselves, value life, work for the common good, X-ray and carefully examine problems, yearn to improve, zestfully pursue
happiness.
Hashivenu Adonai
Bottom of page 64.
Benashuva Hashivenu Adonai Elecha benashuva Chadesh, Chadesh, Yameinu. Chadesh, Yameinu, Kekedem. Chadesh, Chadesh, Yameinu. Chadesh, Yameinu, Kekedem.
One day a year, we make a journey in the company of the whole community of Israel, all of us together, each of us alone. On this day of atonement, let us look at each other and at ourselves with tenderness and honesty. On this day, let us, free to uncover the true meaning of our lives. On this day and every day, let our words, our thoughts, our actions, and our lives be a blessing to the world. Those who are able, please rise.
Su shaharim rashechem vehinasu upidchei olam veyavo melech hakavod. Mihu ze melech hakavod, Adonai tzvaot, umelech hakavod. Selah.
Listen, Israel, Adonai our God, Adonai is one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Blessed is the name of the one who reigns forever and ever.
Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Adonai is God.
Adonai hu Elohim, 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 Adonai hu Elohim.
Please be seated. The gates are closing. Have we done our work? Can we see ways to return? The gates are opening. Another chance to find our way home. Lead us to the entrance. Allow us to enter. God of mercy, as the sun sets and the sky darkens into solitude, and you prepare to judge our actions and our turnings, let our prayers and questions and searching on these days of awe be pleasing to you. Open the gates, open them wide. Show us the way to a life renewed and blessed and sacred and just. Open the gates and we will return. Open the gates for us and all who seek you.
Open the gates.
Open the gates of justice. Open the gates for me. Open the gates of righteousness. Peacefully. Open the gates of freedom. Tell me, what are we waiting for? Peacefully. Sharet Tzedek Avova. Odeya. Peacefully. Sharet Tzedek Avova. Odeya. Lock up the gates of hatred. Throw away the key. Open the gates of justice. Peacefully. Open the gates of tomorrow. Yes, we've traveled oh so far. till the stone that the builders rejected becomes the chief cornerstone. Open the gates of justice, open the gates for me, open the gates of righteousness peacefully, open the gates of tomorrow. Yes, we've traveled oh so far. Peacefully, Sharet Tzedek Avovam, Odeya. 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 Peacefully, Sharet Tzedek Avovam, Odeya.
Thank you, everyone who participated in that. We really appreciate it. This is our loving community. Thank you again, Isaac, for your beautiful, beautiful contribution to our Yizkor service and our Niela service. And thank you also to Deborah Blinder for putting together the memorial book and helping edit our Machzorim, our prayer pamphlets. That was a big job. Thank you. Thank you so much to Karma and all her amazing work during these high holy days. Every detail really has been thought out, discussed, and discussed again. And Karma's a great collaborator. Thank you to Zoe Utterbeck also, who's been helping with our sound and many other aspects of the holiday. And I think we're gonna thank Mac for blowing shofar. Nope. Reuben Ripken. Reuben Ripken is gonna be our ballet. There he is back there. Okay, can't wait. Reuben. And thank you and kudos to Ari Gwozdov for all the magic that he made happen. Yasher Koach to you, we're extremely proud. By the way, everyone in the congregation is going like this, so you know. Finally, thank you to all of you, both here in our sanctuary and those who are watching from home. You are our temple family, and we are so grateful. Please join us in this same place tomorrow night at 7:30 for Shabbat. We'll be back. Gamar Chatima Tova.
But don't go anywhere, because we are going to join together now in Havdalah, not for the end of Shabbat, but for the end of this Yom Tov, and there's some candles coming out. And I think we're distributing as well.
They're in your Machzor, in your prayer book. You have something that looks like a bookmark, but it really isn't. If you scratch it and sniff it, it will be your spices.
And it smells like a Cinnabon.
And if you're at home and find an orange or a lemon or something to
Which
smell
was not
and a
planned
cup
to
of wine.
coincide with my Yizkor sermon, but maybe it was B'Sharet. Why don't we rise as a congregation now?
We're on page 70.
Baruch atah
scratch and sniff.
Yarbeit Chato, Vivacho Chavim Balayla, Shavua Tov, 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 a good week, a week of peace, a year of peace and joy increase. A good year, a year of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Kimhela ve'aveinu, Yahava Eloheinu, Imoshiach ben David, Imoshiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi. Tikia Gedola.
Yashikak, Shana Tova.
Good Yantif, everyone, to a good year, a sweet year, a year filled with goodness.